This is Channel 5 News at 5.
Right off the top, a former top boss for the Gulf Cartel will spend the next 2 decades in prison for smuggling drugs into the U.S.
Yeah, a routine traffic stop by Port Isabel police led to the man's arrest. Our Kirk Chason is live in the newsroom with details. Kirk.
Right. Rafael Cardenas Vela was what's known as a plaza boss. He controlled drug trafficking corridors between Mexico and the U.S. for the Gulf Cartel. Federal prosecutors say Cardenas employed about 500 men to smuggle at least 80 kilos of cocaine into the U.S. every month. They say this went on for more than a decade. The organization also smuggled tons of marijuana into the country. Cardenas is the nephew of former Gulf Cartel leader Osiel Cardenas Guillen. After his arrest, Cardenas testified against another plaza boss, describing the command and control structure of the entire organization. He pleaded guilty to conspiring to distribute drugs from January 2000 until his arrest in October of 2011. In addition to smuggling cocaine and marijuana, the Cardenas organization smuggled millions of dollars in drug money back into Mexico. Prosecutors say Cardenas also bribed Mexican law enforcement so the operation could continue. The 41-year-old Cardenas must pay a $1 million fine and forfeit $5 million, along with property he has in Brownsville. Live in the newsroom, Kirk Chason, Channel 5 News at 5.
Starr County is profiting off 8-liner facilities. A new law requires gaming parlors to purchase a permit. That decision sparked a Channel 5 News investigation. Our John Bartell uncovered evidence of illegal activity. Also caught on tape, we found some establishments breaking the law. Through our investigation, we found and visited 66 8-liner game rooms. We'll tell you what else we found out tonight at 10 and 10:30 in Starr County. Playing the numbers.
A man kicked out of a flag football game last night was arrested today, and he is facing deadly conduct charges. Edinburgh police say he fired shots into a parked car last night at Escandon Park on East Trenton Road. Police say the suspect was thrown out of the game because he wasn't playing by the rules. Upset, he allegedly went to his car, grabbed a gun, and then shot at a vehicle reportedly belonging to the man who had asked him to leave the game. New details out of Hidalgo County this afternoon. An armed man is on the run after he held up a corner store. Authorities say that crime is tied to a robbery in Weslaco. It happened Thursday morning at Vega's drive-thru south of Weslaco at the corner of Mile 5 and Border Avenue. Weslaco police think it is this man seen here on surveillance video at the corner store 2 miles north. Cheto's convenience store was hit up 20 minutes after Vega's store was. The clerks did not think his getup was suspicious because it was cold that day. No one was hurt. We're told the man drove off in a 2-door white Pontiac. You're asked to contact police if you know of something that can help investigators.
It's still cool across the valley. Temperatures didn't go up very much today after late last night's cold front. Here's where we stand right now. Readings in the 50s valley-wide, but at least we got into the 50s. But look, the wind's still out of the north at 16, and the dew point all the way down at 20. If you remember your muggy meter, that's off the chart on the low end. Now tonight, skies clear for a while. Some clouds should come in later on tonight, early tomorrow morning. But look at our forecast lows. 32 in Starr County, everybody else mid-30s, and then Brownsville 38, 44 on the island. So pretty good range across the valley. I think that's because the clouds come back in at the coast first and work their way inland through the nighttime hours. But certainly a cold night tonight and a slightly warmer day tomorrow. We'll check your First Warn 5 forecast in a few minutes.
Well, school will resume tomorrow morning at Bettis Elementary School after the school was broken into and set on fire early Sunday.
Yeah, McAllen ISD has yet to put a dollar amount on all of the damage. Our Leslie Aguilar has more.
Right now, faculty and staff are working around the clock to get Pettis Elementary ready for kids to return to school tomorrow. It's expected to be an emotional day for both students and teachers.
A team of 30 custodians are working vigorously to make sure the school is ready for students. They're cleaning up the first grade wing of Pettis Elementary after vandals broke in and set multiple fires.
Sometimes people do bad things, but that doesn't mean that it's going to stop us from continuing to do what we do.
Behind the school, mountains of rubble continue to pile up. The district has yet to tally the cost of the damage.
Mrs. Lopez's classroom got the brunt of the damage. She walked in her room yesterday and found everything gone. Her entire classroom destroyed.
First grade teachers from Rayburn Elementary down the street are helping Pettis teachers get back on their feet. Ruth Lopez showed us the only item that survived in her classroom, a picture of her father. She says out of everything her classroom lost, the books hurt the most.
15 years worth of books, they're gone.
Lopez says tomorrow will be a challenge unlike anything she's faced in her career.
I don't have no teacher's editions, no textbooks. I need to start from scratch.
Donations are already pouring in to help replace what's lost. Lopez says some feelings can't be replaced.
This is our classroom.
She'll work to teach the children in whatever environment she's placed in.
McAllen ISD police are still investigating who's behind this. They're reviewing surveillance footage, but if you have any tips for them, you can contact them on their Crime Stoppers line, 630-2483. In McAllen, Leslie Aguilar, Channel 5 News at 5.
The McAllen School Board will hold an emergency meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. We're told they'll decide on a contractor for the repairs to the 6 damaged classrooms. The district says the company who built the elementary school in 2007 will likely be doing the work.
New developments out of Weslaco. Police and Crime Stoppers are working together again. Officer Bernie Garza is now taking the calls, and a Crime Stoppers volunteer is back working out of the police station. 3 months ago, we reported the then interim police chief raised several concerns about Crime Stoppers. He wanted more direct access to the calls and information coming in. Today, police say everything was smoothed out.
Everything's great. Everything's back to normal, so to speak. Crime Stoppers is working with us, and we're working with them as well.
Weslaco police say over the last 3 months, the number of calls to Crime Stoppers dropped off. They're hoping now that folks know the program is back up and running, the anonymous tips will start coming in. Again, the number to dial is 968-TIPS. ISIS beheaded another American hostage, and they posted the video online over the weekend. What's different about this video has U.S. officials scrambling to pinpoint the location. We'll tell you about it next.
And the DEA raids several NFL teams over the weekend. Coming up later on Channel 5 News at 5, what they were looking for and who tipped them off. We'll be right back.
Breaking news. Breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adame, Melissa Correa, and First Warn 5 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
Good time. Here we go.
U.S. intelligence is busy poring over the latest video posted by ISIS. It shows the murder of another U.S. citizen.
Yeah, Peter Kassig is the third American to be killed by ISIS. ABC's Karen Travers has our report from Washington.
American aid worker Peter Kassig traveled to Syria to help people wounded in the bloody civil war there.
We each get one life, and that's it.
And today, his friends are heartbroken and angry at his brutal execution by ISIS.
And he had to help the world, and what he wanted to do was try to heal the brokenness of the world.
In the execution video, ISIS claims that Kassig was murdered in the Syrian city of Dabiq, but does not say when. The alleged executioner appears to be the same masked man with a distinctive British accent seen in other videos.
And here we are, burying the first American crusader in Dabiq.
Inside the government, working very hard to exactly identify him and anything we can learn about him.
The so-called Jihad John appeared elsewhere in the 15-minute video, in a scene where he gives the order to behead 16 men described as Syrian soldiers. Unlike previous videos where the ISIS fighters are wearing hoods, here they all show their faces as they commit the cold-blooded murders. And Jihad John made no effort to conceal his location. Behind him, landmarks are clearly visible: buildings, roads, and farmlands. So many valuable clues for intelligence officials to analyze.
ISIS is holding another American hostage, a young female aid worker. Unlike previous videos, in this one, ISIS did not name their next intended victim. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Been a chilly day across the valley. Tonight's going to be downright cold. Tomorrow we begin the recovery process. Your First Warn 5 forecast for Viveros, Alton, Bayview, and the rest of the valley next.
First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith.
Hey folks, this day started with temperatures in the 40s and that strong northerly wind. Wind hasn't let up a lot, but the clouds have thinned out and temperatures able to rebound up into the low 50s in the east and upper 50s in the west. Sunshine kind of appeared first in the west and the clouds broke west-east across the area. So everybody's seeing at least a little sunshine. Look outside right now. Weatherbug. It's in Brownsville, Lone Star National Bank. Looking southward, you can see the back end of the clouds way over in Mexico, and right now continuing to push away, but late tonight, early tomorrow, I think they're going to turn around and start working their way back in across the area, so we will have some cloud cover by morning. In fact, we may be overcast pretty much all day, or most of the day tomorrow, maybe a few breaks early. 49 degrees there right now with northwesterly winds clocking at about 6 at the WeatherBug site at Lone Star National Bank. Forecast lows tonight, take a look. I think readings are going to drop into the 30s every place but the beach, 44 there, but 32 in the west. So if you're in Starr County, northern Starr County, northern Hidalgo County, out in this area, that's where temperatures may get awfully close to freezing, so you might want to bring in tender plants if you're out in that area. Up and down the I-2 corridor or the Expressway 83 corridor, readings are going to stay in the mid-30s, but I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of isolated pockets drop a little colder than that, so it's one of those nights again. And then tomorrow we're back up into the upper 50s and low 60s across the area, and the warming trend starts tomorrow and then will last the rest of the week. If you look at the highs, 58, 69, 74, and we continue going up after Thursday into the 80s by the time we get to the weekend. You see the clouds just working their way out. The thickest cloud cover down to the south of us right now, but if you watch Future Track, cold tonight, but the clouds work their way back in, and by noon tomorrow, we're mostly cloudy. Clouds certainly thick and perhaps a little drizzle along the coast. I think that's it. Spotty drizzle, not much more than that. Wednesday, still mostly cloudy and an isolated shower possible. Thursday, still mostly cloudy. Still could be an isolated shower. I don't think it's as impressive as a look there, though. 10, 20, 20. Your rain chances, and we're looking at mainly light stuff, kind of that misty drizzle across the area. Texas is cleared out, all but those leftover clouds just to our south now, and again, they build back in. Cold conditions tonight into tomorrow, but by the time we get to late tomorrow, high pressure is already moving eastward. That means our flow comes up out of the south. A little bit of a trough down here helping to create some convergence, air coming together and rising, giving us some more clouds. That'll be the case most of the week. By the time we get to the end of the week, though, late Thursday into Friday, I think things are going to turn around. We might be able to push the clouds out of here by then. Here are the currents: 37 Amarillo, 40 Dallas, 52 San Antonio. We're right in line with most of the rest of the state. So tonight, partly cloudy and cold, an average low of 36. Western areas a little colder than that. Tomorrow, a lot of clouds. Could be some drizzle near the coast as the clouds come back in. 58 for your high. Again, you notice Wednesday we're back up to 68. I think a stray shower is possible on Thursday. Then look at this, 80, 83, 85 as we head into the weekend, and then just a tad cooler on Monday of next week. That's your updated First Warn 5 forecast.
A doctor sent to the U.S. to be treated for Ebola has died. The medical staff who treated him explained why he couldn't be saved. And DEA agents hit several NFL teams with surprise inspections after Sunday's games. We'll tell you why the DEA is keeping a close eye on the NFL and also the teams under the microscope.
card with minimum purchase.
Dr. Martin Salia, the latest Ebola patient in the U.S., has died. The surgeon was flown from Sierra Leone to Nebraska for treatment on Saturday. Doctors at Nebraska Medical Center say Dr. Salia arrived already suffering from kidney failure. They treated him with 2 experimental treatments, the drug ZMapp, and also a blood transfusion from an Ebola survivor, but we're told his illness was too far advanced.
Dr. Salia was extremely critically ill when he arrived to our hospital. He had no kidney function. He was working extremely hard to breathe, and he was unresponsive.
Again, doctors in Nebraska say Salia had already passed a critical threshold when he got to the hospital. He arrived in the U.S. on day 13 of his illness. Again, he was working in Sierra Leone when he contracted the virus. A team of engineers with the Texas Army National Guard is being sent to West Africa to assist in the U.S. military's response to the Ebola virus. The group will be tasked with building support structures for medical treatment facilities as part of Operation United Assistance.
When they come home, they'll be in a quarantine environment for approximately 21 days to make sure that they're all safe and sound, and before we let them go home to their families.
The Texas soldiers will join National Guard members from Minnesota for deployment next spring.
Hackers once again infiltrated the U.S. government computer systems. A House Oversight Committee is now demanding answers, as to how this all happened. A senior official said the State Department recently detected, quote, activity of concern, unquote. Only unclassified email systems were affected. The system was immediately shut down. So were their public websites. Officials say they had to take the whole thing off the grid to upgrade security. The State Department doesn't know who was behind this hack, but they think it is linked to the hacking of the White House computers, which happened last month. The U.S. intelligence community says cyber attacks will soon trump terrorism as the #1 threat to the U.S. Since October, the White House's computer system that is used by the Executive Office of the President, all of that was breached. Last week, on the 10th, the personal data of more than 800,000 postal workers was compromised. And then 3 days after that, 4 critical websites designed to prepare for extreme weather conditions sabotaged too. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says they lost access to 4 key weather websites for days. The DEA stormed several NFL games over the weekend.
Agents were conducting surprise searches to find out whether players are illegally being given painkillers and prescription drugs.
ABC's Brandy Hitt shows us the evidence the feds used to swoop in.
Off the field Sunday, federal drug agents were performing surprise raids on several NFL teams. DEA agents digging through the medical bags of several team training staffs for the Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Seattle Seahawks, and more, as part of an ongoing investigation into potential violations of the Controlled Substances Act. The 49ers staff insisting Sunday they were in the clear.
They are random checks to team positions as they travel, that they're transferred to see if anybody's transferring controlled substances across state lines. That's all the information we have.
But our sister network ESPN reports the surprise inspections are motivated by allegations raised in the so-called painkiller lawsuit filed by former NFL players earlier this year.
They allege that for years NFL teams illegally distributed painkillers in a way that left many of them addicted.
More than 1,200 former players are suing the NFL, saying painkillers were, quote, handed out like candy at Halloween, leading to addictions and organ damage.
We would never know what we really were taking at times, and I could stand by that.
In a statement regarding Sunday's raids, the NFL says its teams cooperated with the DEA, adding there is no information to indicate that irregularities were found. Brandy Hitt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Temperatures will fall off pretty quickly tonight after sunset. Readings will go down from the 50s into the 40s. By 11 o'clock, we're down to 41 degrees with patchy clouds. We'll check that forecast when we come back.
Don't remind me, but holiday shopping is just around the corner. Last year, Target stores had a major data breach.
Yeah, a lot of that on Black Friday. And this year, Weslaco police are warning all of us to watch out. Limit your credit card use when you can. They also recommend carry cash, but don't carry a large amount of cash with you. Also use ATMs that are well lit or inside banks and stores. They also find that crooks look for easy targets in parking lots.
Guard your wallet. Carry a smaller version of it in your front pocket or inside a pocket. If you have to carry a purse, hold on to it pretty tight under your arm. Be aware of what's going on around you. And if you have to make several stops, hide your purchases. Crooks go window shopping too.
We are going to have more patrol officers out there, more visibility, targeting the parking lots. Thanksgiving's coming around right around the corner, and the infamous Black Friday, the shopping, and it's going to continue till Christmas and even beyond that with the returns and so forth.
Pay close attention to your bank and credit card statements and call police as soon as you see something's wrong.
Let's take a look at what our crews are putting together for Channel 5 News at 6. Over 80% increase of abuse is the latest drug that local and national authorities are looking out for.
And a road in such bad shape that when it rains, school buses can't even barrel through. Our Kirk Chason answers one mom's call for 5 on your side.
Well, cold night across the valley, then we rebound to the 50s tomorrow. Look at that, 60s on Wednesday, 70s on Thursday, and then 80s after that. So it's a quick bounce, and just in time for the weekend, 80s for highs and 60s for lows with plenty of sunshine, so the weekend looks good, but still a cold night tonight. Lows mainly in the 30s. An update at 6.
Everybody bundle up today.
It's going to be a cold night.
Yep, you too.
I will.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Hey, have yourself a great evening. Bye-bye.
Close